Hello, this is Chapter 2, Section 1, using transformations to graph quadratic functions. Lesson 1, Video 1, translating quadratic functions. Before we move into the actual example, I want to make sure that you understand what a quadratic parent function, f of x is equal to x squared, looks like. The first thing that we need to do is build a t-chart. A t-chart has x and y values. Please remember that x is independent while y is dependent. So we get to pick whatever x's we want. We'll start with 0 in the middle and then do -1, -2, and 1, 2. If you need the extra one on below, if you want to do 3, you can do 3 as well, or we can just leave that bottom one blank. You really only need about 5 points. The next step is to figure out how to solve for x. Or for y, sorry. So that would be -2 squared, -1 squared, 0 squared, 1 squared, and 2 squared. All I'm doing is taking the x values that I chose and plugging it into the given defined function. From here we can plug those in. -2 squared is 4, -1 squared is 1, 0 squared is 0, and then 1 and 4. Once we have our t-chart, we can begin the process of graphing. Start by finding your x and y axes. And then begin to mark some of your points. So +2, -2, -2, 2, 4. Once you have your axes drawn, and you are ready to begin graphing your points, you can go ahead and graph the following points: -2, +4, -1, +1, 1, 1, 2, 4, and 0, 0. You'll notice the points kind of look like they make a V, except for the fact that the gaps between each set of points is not the same. So really it makes a U shape, and then you just do the best you can producing that actual U shape. So it does make a U. The other thing that you need to understand is that the U shape is called a parabola. Okay? So our example says to translate quadratic functions. So we're going to use the graph that we just did of x squared as a guide, and we're going to describe the transformations and then graph each function. So to describe the transformations, you need to go back to the last chapter and remember that if it is inside of the parentheses, as it is here, then it is opposite and horizontal. So this would be a horizontal translation of 3 units to the left. The one on the outside is a vertical translation, and what you see is what you get, so it's 1 up, because it's +1. From here we can begin to graph based on just the translations from the original. Since I know I'm going to move over to the left, I'm going to slightly shift my graph. Oops. And I shift my graph so I can accommodate the points that I have. So 2, -2, 2, and 4. And remember, our original graph was right here. Oops. Okay? And we're going to take that whole dashed graph and we're going to move it 3 over and 1 up. So again, we're going to go, this point here is going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left and up 1. So our vertex now is way over here. Then the point at -1, 1 will also move 3 over and 1 up. +1 will go over 3 and up 1. And then the one at 2, 4 is going to go over 3 and up 1. From here, we're going to go ahead and connect the dots, again, making the best U shape that we can. And this one is slightly off, and I apologize for that, but you get the idea on what the shape should look like. The second one is g of x is equal to x minus 2 squared minus 1. And again, inside parentheses is a horizontal translation, And again, what you see is opposite. So a minus 2 means 2 to the right. And then on the outside, we have a vertical translation. And again, what you see is what you get. So negative 1 is 1 down. From here, all we need to do again is graph the one that's over here. So we can take this one and we're going to shift it 2 to the right and 1 down. So again, we need to make sure our graph fits our data. As much as we can. So our original graph is here. And we're going to take our points and go to the right and down 1. And then, oops, not that one. And then again, connect our dots the best we can into that U shape. Okay? So again, I went 2 to the right and down 1. Here's your U try. You're going to graph the two following. So g of x is equal to x squared minus 5, and then g of x is equal to, in parentheses, x plus 3 squared minus 2. Please make sure you graph these on graph paper, and then come prepared with any type of questions or clarifications that you need about basic translations.